You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Valentine's is officially here. If you're still empty-handed, terrible job by you. You should have done this earlier. Now you've got hours, maybe minutes to get it together. So head to 1-800-Flowers.com right now. 1-800-Flowers has amazingly great last-minute deals on sweets, treats, and beautiful roses and arrangements. This is your last chance to lock in these Valentine's Day deals. Only good while supplies last. To order today, go to 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan.
I am not confident right now. I'm sorry I'm starting this way. I hate when I start this way. There is so much to talk about. Lucy, I think, Dan Marino thinks she is stalking him. I don't have time at the moment to get to that.
Wow.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't
I'm not, by the way. I'm not.
I know. I'll get to that in a second. We have to get to that.
That's what a stalker would say, though.
That is what a stalker would say.
You got me there, damn. I don't have a comeback for that.
Okay, it is a wildly interesting day in the industry because Shannon Sharp has gotten to the top of the podcast game and he's fighting with Mike Epps, and this is great for business. And Simmons is fighting with McAfee, and McAfee is fighting with Simmons, and the whole industry's changing, and Nick Wright's showing up to work in a truck with a red suit because he's a Chiefs fan, and he zigged when everyone else was zagging. He just doubled down all his bets on LeBron is great, Patrick Mahomes is great, and everyone will move far away from me, and Nick Wright wins. He is going to get paid so much money in this economy. But because everybody just got back from the Super Bowl and everyone realized it's all brands, all brand management collapsing against each other. Here come Bert and Segura selling vodka to McAfee. Like it's the podcast games and wars all came the economy there where the gambling was, and we all threw a giant party. And in the middle of it, the star was not shirtless Bert Kreischer. They're worried he's got a drinking problem. It was Greg motherfucking Cote. And he knows it. And he knows it. He's not.
And you know it.
He's not here on time today. Stugotz still smells like Vegas.
Vegas won. I mean, no one won more than Las Vegas. I am telling you, everyone is exhausted. We spoke to Austin Eckler yesterday, Dan. That guy has more energy than anyone. He was exhausted. He did an appearance at Albertsons.
Stugotz, the color of your skin looks corpsey. Am I wrong about this? Vegas does seem to have beaten him in.
Where's my dad?
Where is your dad?
Let
me tell you what's happened here. First of all, it's gone to the head of one of the members of Hee Haw 3, whether it's he or Haw over here. They gave their exclusive first interview after killing Vegas to the Greg Cote show featuring Greg Cote. So he wants to come in here and relive his big conquering of Vegas, and I can't get in his way. He was the star. He kicked Vegas's ass. He flogged Vegas.
And how does he respond to us with it? By showing up late the first show back.
Well, he's a star.
Yeah, but, remember how you got there.
I believe it's a holdout.
Where is he here yet or is he not here yet? Because the other part I've got the problem with today that makes me most scared is that Billy's in charge.
Don't you guys ride a train? Like how are you guys late?
Nah, the Bright Line switched its time, so now we're back to driving.
He's waiting for his limo.
Look, guys, this is what I'm saying, okay? I had an emotional breakdown over the last 2 years that concluded with Mike Ryan throwing a Super Bowl party and then quitting his job. And now Billy's in charge.
Well, I didn't ask for this.
I didn't ask for any of this.
Yeah,
Attaboy.
You literally did not ask for any of this. The executive producer position has been open, and who got in? The child of privilege, the Nepo baby, snuck in.
I work hard.
Took everyone else's job.
I come here.
And today you're in charge. Why are you in charge?
I don't know. Mike needed a break from doing whatever he does.
Because he's fried? Because he's fried, whatever it is he does. Well, what he would say he did is launch the careers of the Las Vegas band on his last act as punctuation. That he wanted to quit executive producer after making the musical, so instead he made Greg Cote the musical. Hee Haw 3 performing for Wu-Tang, Wayne Newton, and Flavor Flav introducing him.
Yeah, let's make it clear. Not performing for Wu-Tang. We are now members of Wu-Tang, Dan.
That did happen. That happened in front. That was certified. That's notified. That had a notary on it. Jeremy, explain to people why you are now an official member of Wu-Tang, unlike one of the people who I think was on that stage DJ Mathematics, who I was told was on the stage, may or may not have been on the stage, but he is not an official member of Wu-Tang. And why are you looking at me like that?
Well, he was on the stage. I mean,
but Jeremy is. I don't know if Mathematics was on the stage. I'm still not sure who was on the stage.
Mathematics isn't a member of Wu-Tang? That doesn't add up. Anyway, I am a member of Wu-Tang because we played a pretty great tribute.
No, not
That's not
gotcha.
right.
It's the wrong one.
Billy, Billy, I hit loser game show sound.
You're blaming Billy, huh?
It was Billy's fault. Billy?
He didn't ask for any of this.
I mean, that too.
That works.
So Billy's in charge. Billy, you rule with an iron fist.
I got it.
Where's Greg Cote?
I don't know.
Okay, we need him in here because it's all gone to his head. Jeremy, you did. I'm sure this will be the most downloaded episode ever of the Greg Cote Show featuring Greg Cote because he had the star exclusive access to Yeti and Jeremy, who are the members of
Tough gets, honestly, for us.
Well, he really just got Jeremy because Yeti's on every week anyway. So Jeremy,
It was tough to get me. I mean, we were having a pretty good time. Look, Hee Haw 3 is a raging sensation right now. Up to almost 400 followers on Twitter, Dan. I mean, come on. At this point, we are a rising star as a group that definitely isn't headed for a breakup.
And Greg Cote didn't want to be on Twitter. I'm telling you, that's how you do it these days. Like, I get it. You're a little late to the Twitter game. You know, Vegas, you did your own thing there without social media, but you got to ride the success you guys are riding.
No, this is it. We're already having fights over merch. That's already happening. It's going to be interesting to see how these egos play out. But look, we're members of Wu-Tang now. After our tribute to them where Greg Cote sang the words, "Oh, baby, I like it raw," they officially welcomed us into the group. And I mean,
did
at this
anyone else
point,
feel
come on.
sarcasm with that? I kind of felt like they weren't. That was
No,
insincere.
they stopped the interview to say, hey, let's make sure we give a shout out to our new members of Wu-Tang right over there, the Hee Haw 3. I mean, come on, it's real.
This part is important. Video, I ask you at some point to get that because we will find out together. If there's video that's not AI of Wu-Tang notarizing Jeremy and Hee Haw 3, they can now license themselves as official members of Wu-Tang.
We already have.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That seems like a legal battle.
They said
if
it.
I've ever heard
They
one.
said it.
They said it.
We have the video proof. What do you mean? It seems like
Is
a
it
legal
binding?
battle.
I mean, I don't know.
I heard there's also an upcoming legal battle as to who owns the name the Hee Haw 3 between Meadowlark and the Hee Haw 3.
Oh, geez.
Has that already started?
I've heard rumblings that's going on in the background. I don't know if that's something we're supposed to bring out on air.
Look,
but
I'm a happy employee of Meadowlark Media. I don't know what the Greg Cote Show with featuring Greg Cote is doing in regard to the Hee Haw 3, but that's a Yeti Blanc and Greg Cote issue for me, Dan. Happy member of
Billy,
Meadowlark.
if you are going to make Jeremy rise in this career, you are now an executive. Look at the seat.
I didn't come today thinking, how do I help Jeremy rise? If I'm going to be perfectly
Why not?
honest with you.
I've been really nice to you.
Yeah, you have been, but,
We're friends.
Got to take care of Daddy first.
You're a nice guy.
Okay, but
Just wordy.
All
Thanks,
right,
Stu.
But one of the things
that's right.
that will take care of Daddy is if he builds careers for others. Jeremy is an Emmy-winning sports broadcaster. None of us have done that, and yet the confines of the industry makes it so he wants to sing and dance. And this game, look, as happy
In
as
fairness, he's not a Tony winner, okay? He can sing and dance when he wins a Tony. He's an Emmy winner. Stick to doing the Emmy stuff. And by the way, I think we can all admit this. Emmys are all into question, right? Like after that whole thing where we found out fake Emmys were being given out and awarded to people that didn't exist, and then we were just putting fake plaques on them. Like, how do we know Jeremy's Emmy is real? Not to be that guy, but how do we know it's real?
I mean, I did the work. I got the Emmy. My name's on it. It's not a fake name. It's my name.
Tell it to restate.
Emmy Award winner, Jeremy Taschen. Looking right in the camera.
And now he wants to be a musical star. He wants to
Grammy
be,
Award winner.
If I told him, look, man, Jeremy, if I made you tell me what was the better feeling, performing behind Greg Cote or going up on stage and winning your Emmy?
I mean, I didn't go on stage to win my Emmy. They gave it to me because I didn't attend the Suncoast Emmys, unfortunately. I believe I was doing work for this company at the time. But
editing.
Yeah.
Editing
things.
Company, yes.
But at the same time, I would say being on stage in Vegas, performing, introduced by Flavor Flav, having Wu-Tang Clan compliment us after a performance, like That was one of the coolest experiences of my entire life. Thanks to the man walking in right now with his sunglasses, Greg Cote of the Hee Haw Three.
Don't take them off.
All right.
Right
all right.
through
So
every
wait,
camera
no,
shot.
wait, Greg,
He doesn't
Greg,
care.
Greg.
Am I
gone?
All right, just for a second, Greg, please just stop. Look, I know you are a roller coaster of emotion.
It's a million reasons why
hold
I'm
on.
late today. Nothing having to do with traffic. It's unbelievable.
Greg?
What a morning up at.
Greg, I need you to leave the room for a second. Just leave the room. Go back. Look, he is drunk on star power right now. Just leave the room, Greg. Leave the room.
Here we were
cameras,
thinking it was traffic. It had nothing to do with traffic.
No,
Okay.
no.
Just slow down for a second.
Poor Jama's stuck in there.
I'm sorry, Jama. Yes, Jama. What's happened right now is, Billy. I knew this was coming in.
Hey,
Billy, he is drunk on liquor from 4 days and the rocket fuel of ego that is he thinks he's a star now.
He is a star.
He is.
yeah, he's a star.
And so he just rolled in here and he was told, and he's got to slow down because he's too big for this show now. He's got to come in and stand behind me and put his headset on. He barreled in here in front of the cameras because he can't wait to talk about himself and the fact that he's been stuck in traffic and has been denied these 5 minutes
No
to talk.
traffic.
Wasn't traffic.
Yeah,
He told us that. That's what we did here.
Greg, please come in here more slowly. Chris, walk him in by the arm. Just drag him to the place like you're walking him to career hospice, please.
As he had to do in the airport because of how drunk he was.
Just gently, because
Career hospice. His career is just taking off.
Right.
Oh, there he goes right in front of the cameras again.
Third time. The Hattie.
all right. Look,
The problem with this is that we had a bit set up, and now it doesn't make any sense because
There's a
we
lot
didn't walk
going on.
this through. Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
this is the difference between the bit and real life, Billy. Yes, you guys had something set up, but I knew he was going to come in dying to talk about himself. And you guys have to produce him because all he wants to do right now is do an interview about how special that week was to him. It's what he wants to do for 4 hours.
I have top 5 Greg Cote moments from Las Vegas from last week.
I want to hear it.
Only 5?
I can do 10 if you give me a minute. Okay.
Take your time.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
wait.
And Dan, you need to understand, it is hard for Greg Cote, because he's such a big star now, to get from, station A to station B. It's hard to get place to place. I mean, the fan club, the fanfare, autograph seekers, you know the deal.
So Greg, wait, just to be clear, If he gives me a top 5 Greg Cote moments from Vegas, you think you're going to be able to give me a different 5?
Probably, yeah. And one of them would be this morning, because I have to tell you, I apologize for being late. My PA promised me that I would be here by 8:30, but it's Hee Haw 3 day in Miami-Dade County. The mayor had a ceremony for me like an hour ago. Government runs slow. The mayor, he talks forever. I got the
I wasn't
gigantic
invited,
key
Greg?
to the I'm sorry, Jeremy.
You going off as a
they just
solo act here from the Hee Haw 3?
They just wanted me. I apologize.
This is unbelievable.
Key to
Jeremy,
the city, huh?
Touche Tache, valuable member of the Hee Haw 3, by the way.
Thank you.
We love you, Jeremy.
Who owns Hee Haw 3?
For sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cent. All right, I'm happy to be here.
Stugotz here. When you love someone, you protect them in the best ways you can. That's why I recommend Simply Safe Home Security. It's an advanced system that protects every inch of your home and backed by 24/7 with professional monitoring for fast emergency response for less than $1 a day. Guys, I have had Simply Safe in my home for many, many years now. I swear by them. The peace of mind it gives me when I am away, the fact that I can see everything happening in and around my house is amazing. Simply Safe offers everything you need for whole home protection. HD cameras for indoors and outdoors. The system is easy to set up yourself without any special tools or know-how required. Don't want to do it yourself? Not a problem. You can get one of their expert technicians to come out to your house and install it for you. Right now, you can get 20% off any new Simply Safe system when you sign up for the Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/DLB. That's simplysafe.com/DLB. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Valentine's is officially here. If you're still empty-handed, terrible job by you. You should have done this earlier. Now you've got hours, maybe minutes to get it together. So head to 1-800-Flowers.com right now. 1-800-Flowers has amazingly great last-minute deals on sweets, treats, and beautiful roses and arrangements. This is your last chance to lock in these Valentine's Day deals. Only good while supplies last. To order today, go to 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan.
Dan Le Batard.
Teammates can't shoot from three. Now they're gonna see a different Jimmy. Now he's just playing Nickelback in the locker room, and
Stugotz.
they'll play D and shoot threes as they chase the Nets for the 6th seed. These 5 words in his head scream, "Are we winning games yet?"
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Okay, you know what? I actually like when you do sing that. People, I've got to back up for a second, okay? Because
slow down.
Yeah, I've been too aggressive. My friend, the star of Hee Haw 3, Greg Cote and the Hee Haw 3, even though there are only 2.
There's 3, technically.
Well, no, but Greg Cote and the Hee Haw 3.
Right. Well, it sounds better than Greg Cote among the Hee Haw 3.
He's pulling double duty. He's both Greg Cote and one of the Hee Haws.
Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why he gets more of the cut.
Really nailed that.
No,
Right, nailed it.
no, I thought there was only one He and one Haw.
I am the Haw. They've been treating me more like a he, but I'm a Haw.
There's only one Haw and one He. There are not 2 He's and a Haw. It's Greg Cote and the Hee Haw 3.
There's a he, a haw, and I'm the 3.
And the Greg.
Well, for what it's worth, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, there are only 4 members there. So it's Frankie Valli is one of the 4 Seasons.
Right.
So Greg Cote is one of the Hee Haw 3.
Exactly.
Let's get it right.
Zagacki.
And they followed us, by the way.
All right, so he's a big, giant hit in Vegas, and I'm sure this is going to be his most downloaded podcast ever, The Greg Cote Show, featuring Greg Cote, with exclusive access to members of Hee Haw 3. Their first interview since hitting global musical stardom.
That's correct, yeah.
But you have been, for 3 days, weepy emotional, and I want his top 5 list, and then I want your top 5 list. Because we're going to celebrate Greg Cote today, because he deserves it. Because a 69-year-old sports writer dominated Vegas entertainment.
Nice.
I mean, come on. Come on. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? Wayne Newton, Wu-Tang, and Flava Flav came to Genuflect because Greg Cote likes it raw.
Oh, baby, I like it raw. All
right, we got it.
Yeah, baby, I like it raw.
So good.
Do you have any OLIs, Stugotz, or is it just going right to it?
I just have a straight 5.
Number 5.
After eating, some of the most delicious fried rice I've ever had, Greg told me he was going to recreate that dish at home, and he called himself Chef Greg.
That's his move. Anytime he has a dish that he really likes, I'm going to recreate that. That fried rice was amazing.
I bought the brisket already. I did.
Interesting.
It's in my freezer.
Try to risk it to get the brisket, am I right?
Thank you,
Damn
Billy.
right.
Excellent work. Number 4.
Greg and Yeti leaving the bar early on Thursday night because Greg wanted to rest his vocal cords for Friday's concert.
You have to.
Well, Yeti was also being a bit protective. And by the way, didn't invite me to leave the bar to protect my vocal cords. And one of us had a solo on Friday.
Yeti wanted to protect your vocal cords.
It honestly
my
felt-
dad didn't want to leave.
It felt like it was like a conservatorship or something. Like he was
That's
like...
kind of what the whole week felt
No,
like.
but it was like we were there. And then Yeti was like, well, Greg's got to go. And then like Greg is there and he's like throwing it back because he's having a good time because he's Greg Cote. And, you know, he just had a great show. And he's like, Greg, we need to go now to rest your vocal cords. And Greg was like, yeah. And he's like, and then he just ushered him away, seemingly against his will.
It's because Greg Cote slingshotted Yeti to musical stardom where he was performing before Wu-Tang and Wayne Newton. And he's got genuine musical talent, unlike the Cotes.
My team wanted me out of that bar because, you know, when I drink too much beer, it affects my voice. I go down a quarter of an octave, which on the professional level means the world. You know, it means I can't quite get up to the key I need. And long story short, my staff just really wanted me back in the hotel that night.
That's as drunk as you've ever seen him, Chris?
After the show Friday, I
At
was
the end
about
of
as
that,
drunk as
is that as drunk? Was he drunker than when he knocked my brother's paintings off his first art exhibit?
For me, the most drunk I've seen him was the bush. When he fell into the bush outside of my mom's house, that was up there.
He could have fallen into a bush at the end of that night, and you wouldn't have been surprised. Your father was weepy drunk at 5 p.m. that night.
The scariest part of that day was going to the airport. I have TSA pre. My dad does not. Of course, I'm not going to not go through TSA pre. So I had to leave my dad for like a 10-minute period of like, you go through your security, I'll go through mine. I'm like talking to him like he's a child. I'm like, go through this thing. Don't talk to anybody.
This is one of my favorite things I've ever witnessed.
While
was
he was
Chris.
drunk,
Yeah,
you just left him alone.
A very drunk Greg Cote. Well, that's also in part because we forgot.
I paid for TSA pre, guys.
Yeah, but we also forgot to check our bags, so we had to go back and check our bags. So we had to walk back down to the other side of the gate and leave a drunk Greg Cote off on his own. He said that when we finally got there to find him, that he was about to call somebody because he forgot
where we went.
Okay,
Yeah. He was like, I was just about to call you.
Right,
Where'd you go?
All right, if I may, okay, if I may, and I would not blame Greg Cote if this is how he feels right now. I have his back 100% on this. How the hell do you think Johnny Cash would leave Vegas after being the hit of Vegas? He would do so on a bender and expect his entourage to take care of him every minute because he's the f***ing show.
Damn yes, also on a private jet.
Until things are brighter, I'm the man in black. Johnny Cash.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Johnny Cash tribute there. I am told we have, Billy, I am told we have Wu-Tang video of some sort. Do you know what this is? Is this notarizing that Jeremy and Hee Haw 3 are indeed now members of Wu-Tang?
I don't know what this is.
All right, let's see what we've got here. You tell me if, Stugotz, you sign this official. Is this them signing off on Jeremy can absolutely bill himself as an official member, unlike mathematics, an official member of Wu-Tang?
Catch the show. And I want y'all to make some noise for the new Wu-Tang members over here on the left side with that dirty remix of I Like It Raw. That was dope. I like that.
There was no equivocation there. Like they
members.
They volunteered it.
It's official. That was also number 3 on my list.
Oh, sorry. Number 3.
That's
okay, but that's pretty good on the list. That's pretty high. We've got 2 better than that. And Cody's got 5 he thinks are better than that.
Yes, he had a week, Dan.
Number 2.
Number 2, me and Greg Cote walking out of a steakhouse, walking into a very small private room that Joe Montana was occupying, walking out of the room, and minutes later, Greg still not knowing he was in a room with Joe Montana.
Correct. I saw him from behind, in fairness to me.
In their defense, that was one of the more confusing layouts for a steakhouse.
Yes.
I tried to go to the bathroom once, and I made like 6
Chris,
wrong
Chris,
turns.
let me explain what I learned about Vegas this trip. How am I walking past so many banquet halls to get to a room where there are super private celebrity people and people are just eating meat? Like it's through you're walking through.
Can you clarify that?
You're walking through galaxies of ballrooms.
So did you guys talk to Joe? Like, what happened?
No, we didn't say a word to him. I just kept telling your dad, hey, that's Joe Montana. And then minutes later, we're having the conversation, and still he had no idea it was Joe Montana.
What I'm saying is you walk through galaxies of rooms, and there's Jerry Rice having dinner with Joe Montana. And there's Greg Cote sitting next to them, not knowing he's in a room with Joe Montana.
That's because he's the biggest star.
That's correct. Where are we on this? Number 1?
Number 1, yes. Greg Cote being introduced by Flavor Flav as Greg Coates.
Yes, that was that he
Really
got the name Hee Haw 3 right, but he did not get Greg Cody's name right.
I'm convinced that was him being such a fan of the show that he knows the word combos that Chris does, and he was thinking Greg Cote and the GOAT, so Greg Cote.
Well, let's hear this. I want to replay this here because this was surreal. All of this was surreal.
Oh, hey yo, check this out, G, on the strip. Yo, we got Greg Cote, and Hee Haw 3.
Yes.
I cannot tell you how insane it is to have been introduced by Flavor Flav. It's insane.
So great.
All right, you don't have 5 better than that, Greg.
I got to get a pair of Flavor Flav's sunglasses, first of all. I need those, the white rims. No, I don't have 5 better than that, but I have 5 that are personal to me. Number 5 is I quickly figured out a way to get a free drink, which is right after the 2 live performances. I'm theatrically looking around for Christopher explaining to any fans in my vicinity that I don't have my wallet. I left my wallet in the room. I have no money. I'm dying for a Bloody Mary. And people are like falling over themselves to buy me a free Bloody Mary. And so that worked well for me. Anything involving a free drink I love, and that's number 5.
All right.
How about that?
Number 4.
Number 4 is during rehearsals on Wednesday when we were going through our hit song Viva Greg Cote, and the whole crew was walking out. And I could, from 100 yards away, I could practically see the smiles on everyone's face. In that moment when we're rehearsing the most ridiculous song ever written, and you guys are walking out, that was a special moment for me.
Oh, the voice is cracking. We might be able to get some real emotion here from Greg Cote.
Oh, I'm going to be a wreck.
Number
today,
3.
If you lead me there.
Number 3.
Number 3, honestly, this is hyper personal, but getting a chance to talk to Valerie a lot and personally and privately, one-on-one, at that after party Friday was very special to me. What a wonderful woman. I got to know her a little bit better, and much to my delight. So that was number 3.
How do you remember that? You were hammered at that point. You had been weepy from drinking too much with Frank Thomas the night before.
The big hurt.
And that's good vodka, by the way, FT35. That's fantastic. But the vice president of operations of the Circa, the wonderful Circa Resort and Casino, he also was buying me free drinks.
This is the new and unimproved Dan Le Batard show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings. Dan Le Batard.
We got Afrini Hardaway.
Freeney? Who was Freeney Hardaway?
I was trying to read fast. UD was on the team. Luke Jackson. Bobby Jones. The Matrix, Shawn Marion.
Stugotz.
Zoe, Shaq, Smush Parker. Chris Quinn.
Wait a minute.
D. Wade.
Wait a minute.
Jason Williams, Darrell Wright. I mean, stacked roster.
This is the Dan Le Batard show with the Stugotz.
Let me tell you, back in my day, we respected the game. You know what? I messed up the lyrics on that because I don't have my I don't have
Your
my
teleprompter.
scroll. My
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Teleprompter.
All right,
Yeah.
so look.
I'm nervous.
All right, he's been unmasked. Okay, this is what's just happened here. I'm going to explain to the audience. It was very simple. They were counting him in, and he was supposed to sing a song. And then the pressure arrived, and he choked, and he forgot all the words to his hit song.
The hit song.
Okay, but Billy, okay.
I'm surprised he didn't start doing bra-da-da-dee, bra-da-da-dee.
It would have been better. It honestly would have been better.
Okay, Billy. All right.
Greg, the idea today was that you were going to be the musical guest, kind of performing in and out of breaks. You're going to be a Paul Schaefer of sorts.
We were going to be able to recreate what we got in Vegas. Now, this is where it gets unmasked, though. People don't see how much Hee Haw 3 we're doing to prop Greg Cote up. How much? Wait.
Other way around.
No. I heard Yeti whispering to him so gently.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I mean, no, Yeti.
You say whispering gently. It was a little heavy-handed.
Okay.
The mic even picked up him saying, "Go, start."
Okay, look. Greg Cote needs a lot of help, but he's the star, and no one here disputes that he's the star. No one. He rocked Vegas and deserves every accolade he gets today.
I think Yeti's trying to point out, though, and he did so several times over the weekend, that, hey, I'm the reason for Greg Cote's success. I mean,
I don't think he ever pointed that out, did he?
Privately.
Really?
A couple people he pulled us aside.
Really?
He said, Greg would be nothing without me.
No, he doesn't say it, but he does enough. He wants you to say it.
Yeah, he's looking for it.
Well, Yeti is the musical director of the Hee Haw 3 and my personal voice coach, so I am going to give him some flowers here.
Okay.
Some people
The man
said-
behind the man.
Some people said you'd be nothing without him. Did he say that?
Well, they're wrong.
I'm not
He
the
may
one
have
to
said
say.
that,
I'm
yeah.
not the one to say that.
Greg, we interrupted you in the middle of number 3. Do you remember where you were?
I don't remember number 3. I think I finished with it. I don't know.
it was Valerie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. You
Yeah.
talked to my wife for a while. Well, no, I wanted to go back here for a second because at that point in the evening, you were rip-roaring drunk from 2 straight days of partying and living hard in Vegas and crushing Vegas. You had liquor on your breath. And Chris Cote, you're telling me he had a lot more to drink after that. that he was mixing and matching and he was going crazy. It was a full. You've never been on a bender like this through Vegas with your father.
Never been on a bender with like that. I had to stop drinking. He was so drunk. I was like, both of us can't be showing up to the airport like this. Jeremy's like, we can't, because Jeremy was on our flight. It's like, Jeremy's going to be in charge of these two idiots. So I was like, you know what? Water's for the kid. Gonna have a nice sad burger at the diner at the airport, and drunk Jess and drunk Greg are gonna keep partying. And I'm just gonna make sure that Greg gets to his. And did my dad get the best sleep of his life on that flight?
Oh my God, it was like a 19-hour flight. I slept the entire time. Didn't get up once to go to the bathroom.
This guy's a monster. He doesn't need any neck pillow. He doesn't. This is how my dad sleeps. This is how my dad sleeps on a plane. Ready?
That's right. Chin on chest.
Chin on chest.
Oh yeah.
Eyes shut the entire I know eyes shut would be weird if his eyes weren't shut, but it is
wide open.
Chris, back in his day, that's the only option he had.
I'm looking back for a belly moving. That's all I'm looking back for. I'm like, is he breathing? Yep, he's breathing. We're good.
Back in his day, sleep. Back in my day, a man could just.
Correct.
Your neck must be so sore after 5 straight hours of just neck straight down.
Yeah, I do neck calisthenics every morning.
No, you don't.
I rotate my neck in clockwise and counterclockwise for about 10 minutes.
Number 2.
Number two.
He's making this up on the fly.
I didn't expect that. Number 2 was the room, the production room, where the entire crew and cast would gather every day.
The room.
What's that?
Just the room.
It's a room.
No, you know what?
It's like a banquet room.
You know what? I'm gonna endorse this. No, that's our crew. That's our company. That was 40 people put together a month. Man, we went to Vegas and had the biggest, best thing. Everyone could see it. Like that room put that together. So he was grateful. You have a better moment than that? Because I'm right there with you on that one.
I was super grateful. John was our stage guy. He took care of the Hee Haw 3, and he's probably tired of me complimenting him so many times in Las Vegas on how much we appreciated him in particular.
No love for Fuentes, huh?
Everybody was great, but John was the one I was dealing with directly. If there was any problem, if there was any question, he was right there.
He was your go-between. He was your management.
He really was great. Yeah. We heard from him multiple times.
Greg, you wanted a staff, and you got a staff. And you kicked Vegas's ass because you had a small staff.
Yep. Yeah, I did. Yeah. And number one, and I could talk about this all day, and I would get very emotional doing so, but number one was the performance of Lovely Cruise, which I consider to be an opus moment in my life and in my career, because the lines blur between what's my life and what's my career, because I'm so grateful to work with my friends, to work with my son. So work feels like real life type thing. And that moment to me, I was pretty nervous about hitting the first note. And when I started off on key, Yeti gave me a little smiling nod like I was good, because he was worried about me on that song. But I think I performed it as well as I can, and I think I rose to the moment. I felt very proud and just beyond happy as that song was playing out.
How many times have you watched it?
100,000 times.
100,000.
100,000?
Yeah, 100.
Honestly, so have I.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was terrific. I really enjoyed it.
That's going to be hard to beat, Stugotz. That was pretty cool.
I mean, the room was number 2.
He's right.
When he said the room, I lost track of what are we even counting down?
It was a banquet hall and some sandwiches.
Was this places you went in Vegas?
Well catered.
It can't be the room.
Was it?
Was it well catered?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Sunches.
I didn't eat much. I would have liked a little tub of beer on ice in the room, but I get it. I get that.
You should have put in your rider.
I should have, yeah. I didn't drink until after the show, which is probably why I performed so well if I did.
It was 7 a.m.
That's fair.
Do you guys realize that at some point in the future, if this company succeeds with whatever it is that song made him feel, because I'm going to say it was love, because that's what I felt and feel for him all the time. Yeah, so my brother passed away recently, and this man has been our brother throughout. A teacher, a mentor, a one of the best friends I have ever had of any kind, who loves me dearly and entrusts the future of his family to me. So to see him do all of that in front of people and hit a song as a grateful note, because this is the punctuation of his career, and it is, I mean, it's loving. It's a loving thing.
If I'm being honest, I thought of Dave a lot during that song because the lyrics are very metaphorical, and they can stand for saying goodbye and time being too short and all that. And that's why when you were on stage with your arm on my shoulder, I couldn't look at you because I was thinking of Dave, particularly during that break. And if I looked at you, I would have lost track of the song and maybe openly cried. And so I tried to be as stoic as I could, but my heart was very full during that entire performance.
I will note for the audience, I don't think that's sincere. I don't think that.
What do you mean?
I mean, he was taking your shine. He was taking your shine. You didn't feel love for him in that moment?
I did. I mean, I said same.
Greg put it perfectly.
I can't elaborate much more. I don't know if you felt the same, but I did.
If I felt, I'll tell you what I felt. I will tell you what I felt, because this, I was moved several times about the absurdity of all of that, and it being very much my brother's sense of humor, because the idea that you're performing for Wu-Tang and Flava Flav is introducing you is my brother's sense of humor. Like, all of that, seeing it unspool in front of me was wildly moving. But also moving from within that, talking to our fans for 4 hours afterwards and knowing how they follow us anywhere 3 hours a day, competitive streaming market, because they know I love the old man and they know the old man loves the kid. And behind us, symbolically, on his last day, Mike Ryan gave us that gift as the sort of formative leader of this crew of ridiculous people.
Same.
You guys are putting it perfectly.
Well said, Stugotz.
What else
It's
can I
hard for him
say?
to add to that.
You know, I was in that conference room, and I was thinking to myself how much Dave loved a good conference room, and so he would have loved that conference
Yeah, he
room.
would have.
He would have.
Yeah,
There's
big
no
time.
question about it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
He would have loved the sandwiches.
Great walls.
He would have.
Miss you, Dave.
The rare 3-door room.
Lucy, why does Dan Marino think you're stalking him?
I'm not stalking him.
Transition.
So, I know this feels a weird thing for me to follow, but everything's fine. I'm not stalking Dan Marino. Just want that super clear. I worked an event a few months ago that Dan Marino was at, and for what I was doing, I kept having to go up and talk to him. But the people I was working with wouldn't tell him that I was also working this event. So I just kept going up to him. I took 15 photos with him. He kept being like, "Hey, girl, what's up?" And every single time it was the same conversation. I'm like, I am just such a big fan of you, which I'm not. And so I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of him.
Nothing
but I'm
wrong
not,
with that. No.
I'm not
oh no!
the way how many times I went up to him, he probably thought I was the most important person in his life. And unfortunately, Caitlin Clark is not him. So I just kept going up to him. He was like, "Hey, I remember you. And then he was over at the DraftKings setup at Radio Row, and I was like, he's going to think I'm following. So I had to duck. I had to hide at Radio Row because I didn't want Dan Marino to think that I'm stalking him, which I am not, by the way.
You were just trying to get some influence?
I was trying to get a paycheck, which I got, and that was awesome. But I wish they had let him know that I was there for work and not just because I'm like a super Dan Marino fan, which he's fine and great and was very nice to me the 15 times I had to go up and reintroduce myself to him.
Greg, for me, going back for just a second, earnestly, it was a really cool moment to watch you do this because I'm someone, obviously, who loves theater and performing and had to try to make the choice in between performing and sports media. And I know for you, as someone who was a sports columnist, to be able to now have this dream of performing in Vegas, realized it had to be so emotional because it made me emotional to see you as someone in front of me.
This is a new and improved Dan Batard show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
Ah, the sizzle of McDonald's sausage. It's enough to make you crave your favorite breakfasts. Enough to head over to McDonald's. Enough to make you really wish this commercial were scratch and sniff.
And if you're a sausage person, now get 2 satisfyingly savory sausage McGriddles, sausage biscuits, or sausage burritos for just $3.33. Or mix and match. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.